So you weren't ready is what you're saying.
I didn't know I wasn't ready, okay?
I didn't know. I promise. I didn't know I was wrong.
So how's your day been?
A lot of driving, a lot of whining, people calling me. You know how it is. How's your
Yeah.
day been?
Well, I witnessed like 3 accidents, so that was
Three of
fun.
them? Yeah.
Yeah, one on the way leaving San Antonio, one in the middle, and then there was like a 5-car pileup on the way back into Austin around like San Marcos area. So that was fun. Like I just saw like 6, 7 police officers zooming past me and I was like, "What's happening right now?" And then traffic did
I
not.
thought you said that there was like a high-speed chase or something. Isn't that what
That's
your
what
message just said?
Well, that's what I thought at first, because like there were so many police officers. I was like, there can't be this many police officers for an accident. Like, and then I was seeing them on the other side of the highway too. I was like, okay, something's got to be like happening, you know? Um, but no, it was just 5 cars got into an accident, and they had all the police there interviewing them when I passed by. So it looked like somebody was really angry too. So I think they were trying to like
I would
separate
be
them.
angry too if a bunch of people rear-ended me.
Like, and one of them was like a big ass truck too. I was like, oof.
Like a semi truck or just like a
No,
somebody
no,
who is compensating?
like a Ford 1500 or whatever.
Yes, Ford 1500.
500, I don't know, whatever they are. The big ass truck.
The big truck boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was fun. But I made it,
That's good. I
and the
drove
audience made it here.
I drove halfway to get back down to the border, and I stopped to get a haircut, and I walked in and they were like, yeah, it's a 90-minute wait, and I'm like, it's faster for me just to drive down to the border and get a haircut.
Yes.
So I drove down, got here, went to the haircut place, walked in, and they were like, oh yeah, the church just let out, so it's going to be a 70-minute wait. And I was like, why do you get a haircut after church? Shouldn't you get one before you go to church so you look better at church? I was like, okay. So I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I will come back another day this week to get a haircut. So I haven't gotten a haircut. I just came right back to the hotel and started unpacking stuff.
Oh, no. Well, don't worry.
Yeah, no, the police are on their way. I'm worried. What do you mean, don't worry? What's going to happen?
I don't know. I just don't know what to say now.
How about the
Brain
intro?
is
You want to do that one?
Hi, welcome back to Mindless Prattle, our podcast where we tell you stories from about Austin, Texas, in
From
Texas
about,
and
yes.
generally. Yeah, in general, not in generally. Oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, welcome back. We hope your ears are enjoying your experience so far. Glad you're here. We've had a day.
Yes, we're on episode 37, I want to say.
Lit.
Um, yes, this one perfectly timed comes out on 9/11.
Oh
So
no.
you say it like you say it like it hasn't been 20 years. We'll be okay.
Yeah, I know. You know,
Oh no, we can't release it now.
like there's a story I read about 9/11, and it's like it always gets my heart. Can I tell it?
Yeah, but I want to tell a joke first.
Okay.
There's a comedian. I think he's a British comedian, and one of his jokes is he saw the New York City chief of police like last year, or year before, on TV at the memorial, and one of the lines, always the same line that they give is, "Oh, we'll never forget 9/11," right?
Mhm.
The comedian, he's standing there, he goes, well, I should fucking hope you don't forget. It's your phone number. That was my funny story. Now on to your sad story.
It is a little sad, but like in a good story
Is
still.
it a good
Yes, it
story?
is.
You said,
So
I have a story. We're talking about 9/11,
yeah,
and don't worry, it's
it's
not the
it's
most
got a good
uplifting.
ending. It's not like a story about someone dying or anything like that. Um, so I read this a few years ago. It was, a collection from people who had 9/11 stories in general, and this one woman talked about how she was like a freshman in high school or something during 9/11, and her dad was um like working in New York City at the time, And she said she doesn't know why, but that day she was just being really bratty. Like she refused to take the bus, was like embarrassed to be seen taking the bus to school or whatever. And so she like fought with her parents for so long. She made her dad late for his job interview, and he had to drive her to school. And she said he was like angry at her the whole way, like cussing and all this shit. And then she gets into class or whatever, and it's the story about 9/11, like the planes hitting the towers is, everywhere. And she said that like her dad texts or like calls her whatever on whatever old ass phones they had then. Uh,
Hold it
a flip phone probably.
wasn't the 1800s. It was
But she said her dad was supposed to have an interview at the Twin Towers that day, and because she like put up such a fucking fit that day and made him late, she saved her dad's life by being a brat basically. Um
well, that guy better go on to cure cancer or something, because
Well, she said that, like, he turned around, he picked her up from school, and I guess he just, like, grabbed her and hugged her for, like, 10 minutes straight. And that always gets my feels a little bit, but it's like,
because you were never
yay.
hugged, or
Shut the fuck up. My parents hugged me a lot, actually.
yeah, but you didn't like it, so I mean, it's the same thing.
I liked my childhood was pretty good. It was like my parents waited until middle school to, like, fuck me up, so at least I had that.
Where they waited until okay. I mean, that's good. At least you had some good memories before it all went to shit.
Yeah, Like, I'm pretty lucky, I'd say, because I feel like a lot of people who had, like, shitty parents, like, they were just shitty their whole life. No, circumstances made my parents have difficulties, and I don't blame them for that anymore. It's fine. Oh my god, though, okay, so Jordan and we went and saw a comedy show yesterday, and, I can't stop thinking about that one lady who just all of her jokes were
Her
about her mother, and they weren't
it's
even,
her
like, funny,
only
they weren't
joke.
landing. They weren't
Yeah,
landing at all, like, I think she was, like, the quietest set, in terms
her
of
jokes started
audience
out
laughter.
with, "I know my mom doesn't love me because she has" like, what was it? Oh, like, she's not that
Talking about
level
this,
of
like, little rat dog she had.
yeah, she said her mom was so white that she, has a little dog purse for her dog and carries the dog around and paid 7 grand for the dog and then flew the dog, like, first class when they first got it to, this and that, and, but it was literally just stories about how her mom loved this dog more than her, and I was like, okay." Like, the premise was funny, but then you just kept hammering it, and we were like, "Yep, still
Yeah,
loves
and
the dog more, got
it
it."
felt a little serious. It didn't even feel like jokes, like, she was so sarcastic in the way she was delivering her jokes that it didn't even feel like jokes, and she was making,
No,
like,
no.
really intense eye contact with me because I was sitting in the front row. Everybody kept choosing me as, like, their person, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
and
So
she was just
we
making really intense eye contact with me through that whole thing.
we decided last minute to go to this comedy show, and it was advertised as like something and like
Like,
Brews and
adult,
Chuckles
raunchy.
adult comedy, right? And we were like, yeah, we've got a few hours what until it starts. Let's go to it. Why not? And we go in. It's in a bar, which I was like, or like the venue, it's in the back of a bar, and I was like, okay. That's fine. No, I was expecting, you've seen the TikToks of like comedy clubs. You're
Yeah,
expecting like
like a small little
30,
stage,
40,
whatever.
50 people with a little stage. Everyone's having drinks. There's some, good laughter going on. Oh no. We get escorted into the back, which by the way, the bartender was so slow making drinks that we got to our seats late. And they were like, oh yeah, we're still waiting on a few more people to show up anyway. So the show's going to be a little late to start. And we were like, you're waiting on everybody to show up? That's so nice of you. Oh no, we walked into the back and they're like, this is your table right up front. And we looked around and there was like 8 people in the entire place about to watch these comics. And we were like, oh good. We're in the front. Like I am 100% certain there were more like comedians in that place than there were people watching the
Yeah, I
comedy.
think there was, like, 10 comics total. I can't remember how many, but it all kinda blurred together.
Yeah, and like they tried it. Some of them tried to do crowd work, but it was just not landing because there was 8 of us. Like it just wasn't happening. Like
So I got talked to a lot.
they kept trying to be like, "Ah, you're from Austin. You do this and this," and we're like, "We literally just moved to Austin." But okay, sure, if you say so.
I got a few white girl jokes. That was fun.
Yeah, yeah, I remember those. And then what was up with the couple sitting next to us? All right.
Okay, so
There was
confusing.
I don't know if they were doing like a bit or what was happening. Okay, so we like I said, we sat down and the host came up and wanted to tell us some jokes, warm up everybody before the first comic comes out. And the host, he's asking where everybody's from, where what we're doing, blah blah blah, if we're on a date, all this stuff, right? So he talks to us for a little bit, and then he goes to the couple that's sitting next to us,
Which they were very
and
coupley, okay? Like, they were, like,
yeah,
touchy-feely,
like
all the
his
stuff,
his arm was around her, like this whole and
and her
anyway,
body, like, turned into his.
yeah, 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 and the MC he goes, "Oh, yeah, what are you two celebrating tonight on your date?" And the guy said, "No, this is my sister." What?
Don't know if he still don't know if he was joking or
I
not.
I have no idea, but they were literally just like touching each other the whole time we were there. I'm like, what is happening with this? And
Yeah,
like
he definitely had already had a lot to drink.
even later in the night when he was like started like heckling some of the comedians, which by the way, there's 8 people. Like they can tell it's you that's doing it, dude.
Yeah.
Uh it wasn't a secret. But like he started heckling people, and then at one point they like kissed, and like the MC was like staring at them too, and was like, "What is?" I don't know, man. I was very. I don't know what was going on with that, but
I don't either, but, I hope they didn't wake up the next morning like, "Damn, shouldn't have done that."
shouldn't have done. You know what? I hope they do. That dude deserved it. That dude could not take a joke. Like they were
I think
making
he
fun
had
of
drank too
us.
much to
It
be
doesn't
joking like
matter.
that,
You're
you
at a
know?
comedy show. They were making fun of us. They were making fun of the people in the back, and then we're laughing it off because it's a comedy show. And then anytime he got made fun of, he's like, "Bro, what? I don't understand." Like he was on his phone because the menu is digital, and so he was like ordering a drink from the bar or something. And at one point, the comedian was like, "Who you texting? You got somewhere important to be?" And he's like, "I'm just ordering a drink. God, I don't
Yeah.
understand all that." And we were like,
Like
"All
a
right, man.
teenager.
Like,
God,
why are
mom, you just
you?"
don't understand me.
Yeah, he was so defensive, like immediately. We were like, Okay, man. Like, whatever you say."
I enjoyed it.
No, it was a lot of fun.
I just some of them just like I said, were making eye contact with me for a really long time while they were making some of their jokes, and I was like trying to enjoy it, but then I was like, these jokes aren't feeling like jokes right now. Like I feel like we're having an intimate conversation, kind of like the
It's because you
therapist
were the
lady.
only one in the front row. The therapist, she
She
was
stared into
something.
my eyes for
Yeah, she was
so
just staring.
long.
There was a comedian who was also a therapist, and she was just going at it with you. I'm like, all
I
right,
mean,
have
her
fun.
jokes were funny, but I was like, "Ma'am, I have my own therapist. Like, you're not gonna get much from me." But I enjoyed the experience, and it was a gay bar, we found out, like
Yeah, I found that out afterward. I mean, the name of it is like Artisan Craft Brewery, which I was like, I guess that does artisan mean gay now? Is that what that means?
which
I
you
don't,
know
I
what? I
don't
was
know.
wondering because there's an Artisan in Vegas as well, which was, like, a famous gay hotel.
I see. I didn't even know that either. I don't know.
I liked our bartender. She was a little slow, but I my drink was delicious, so I can't complain too much. It was very well made. Maybe she's, like, newer in training or something.
Well, she was also the only bartender, and she was just like, "Well, the show doesn't start till you motherfuckers get there, so I'm gonna I'm gonna make the drinks
Yeah,
slow anyway."
they had, like, the 2 other bartenders that were just, like, just sitting around, like, washing things off and, like, that was it. I didn't really see them do anything else, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh man, I when I was checking into the hotel yesterday, I was standing behind this guy at the front desk, and he was arguing with the receptionist, check-in lady. I don't know what their actual title is. But he was arguing with her for like 10 minutes, like while I was just standing behind him. And like he turned around and saw me a few times and was just like, I don't he looked like disgusted that I would stand behind him in line while he's trying to deal with his issue. And his issue was that he was trying to check in, but he had a debit card instead of a credit card, even though every website for this hotel definitely says a credit card is required at check-in. And so, you know what their solution was to let him stay there? They signed him up for the hotel credit card while I was standing behind him.
How long did that take?
It took another like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, dude. I just want to go to the room. Like, I come on now. Like it was a very clear message on every like website that said credit card required at check-in. I'm like, I don't know how you missed that, bud, but okay.
Dang. And then I like the
Also,
little
who
bar in
doesn't
that
have a
hotel.
credit card? What?
Well, even they had, like, a little sign saying something about, like, if you use a debit card, like, it was, like, this whole ass process and stuff. I guess they just prefer not to take them if they can help it.
Yeah, probably. I like the atmosphere of all the places we went. The steak was really good.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have the rest of that after we finish recording this podcast.
You took my steak. How dare you?
You ate your steak.
Yeah, because I knew I wasn't going to get any if I left it with you today. But that steak was good.
I could eat some more of it, and the butter they put on it, oh my god, I thought that butter was great.
Yeah, I think you were just hungry.
I was so fucking hungry. I had eaten a can of soup that day, which I feel
That
like
was
when I
the
eat
first thing
just
that I had eaten that day.
I
It
feel like
was
when I
that
just eat
steak.
something small like that, though, it makes me, like, almost more hungry than if I just didn't eat at all. Like,
More
my stomach's
hungry.
like, "You
More
put a
hungry.
little bit in me, bitch. Give me more. This isn't enough."
Yeah, maybe. I can see that happening. It's usually when I don't eat a lot, my stomach's like, yeah, we'll shrink a little bit, but now you got to fill yourself up. And I'm like, all right, I forgot about that part.
I liked the Moon's Daughter. We stopped by, like I think a reservation would have been better, but I don't know.
I I
The
didn't
vibe
know
was
that it was
okay.
a restaurant that you needed reservations for because all I found online was that it was a bar. So when we walked up, and also I said, Do you know how long the wait is?" And the hostess was like, "Oh, yeah, we don't really know. People can stay for as long as they want." I'm like, "Well, then how does anyone make a reservation? Like, you just set aside a table and then hope that they are not there all night? Like, what you know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Like,
and then
what?"
I don't know if you noticed, but it was so empty. Like, their entire outside area was empty. I only saw, like, 2
Yeah, there
tables sat
wasn't.
down.
Yeah, exactly. In the actual main, like, restaurant part of it, there was maybe 2 or 3 tables that were sitting down, and I was like, "Alright, I guess we'll just leave then." I don't
Yeah, it was a
I don't
weird
know.
experience. I didn't really enjoy the vibe it gave off, but I was very happy with Saltgrass, like, that was good. And we still ended up sitting at a bar, like, I wasn't opposed to that. It was just, like, everything else
Well, yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
like.
just there was 1 seat at the bar instead of 2, and they were very, like, rude about it. What was it, the guy that we sat down at the first bar, right when we got to the hotel, and he came up. What did he say? He said, "Do you know what you want?" And I said, "No, we're still deciding." And he walked away, but he said something. What do you remember what he said? It was like, "Good, I don't need unprepared guests," and then he walked
Oh,
away.
yeah,
I was
that was
like,
so
"Oh,
weird to me.
okay, I'll see you later
I think he
then."
was trying to make a joke.
I
It
think
was a
so
little
too, but
flat.
it didn't. It sounded like he was like, "Well, you better be prepared to talk to me the next time," and then walked off. And I was like, "My bad, bro."
Maybe that's the real reason they gave me a free drink. Maybe they were like, "Oh, man, that wasn't funny. I'm gonna give them this extra drink."
I don't know. Well, that drink they gave you was the sample that they were handing out at the front of the hotel.
Mhm.
But I guess she was just done for the day and was just like, "Hey, I got this extra. Go give it to whoever." Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't suck. I usually don't enjoy gin that much, but I liked that drink. It was very light and floral.
Yeah, it was good. You
Also,
claimed that your first drink tasted like weed, which was interesting to me.
yeah, the first sip I got of it, I don't know why, but it tasted like weed with the aftertaste of coconut. Like,
Of coconut? Interesting. I mean,
well,
there
because
was
there was
some Malibu in it,
yeah, there was
but
Malibu, blue curacao, all that sort of, like, fruity stuff, but it was, like, the first taste, it didn't even taste like the way weed tastes, it tastes like the way weed smells, and then after that, it was just, like, a little coconut, and then once I kept drinking it, it was fine, but I was like, "Huh, I don't know if it was from the COVID or whatever, but my taste buds have been a little weird."
I don't know because I tasted it and I couldn't taste what you were talking about, but
But I have an update to my Taylor Swift story from a few weeks ago.
yeah, probably like a month ago now. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was July when I was supposed to get it. So,
So 2 months ago.
so a while ago, I told you guys the story about my Speak Now Taylor Swift Lilac Special Edition album that did not get to my house
The
because
title
FedEx
gets
sucks.
longer every time you tell this story. Limited edition, mint, hot off the press.
Is that what's funny? It's actually become like a meme in her community about her releasing so many different types of fucking albums. Cause like she would like Rose Edition available for 24 hours. And I'm like, girl, I love your music, but capitalism is not my friend right now. Like nobody can buy all of these. Um, but I didn't get it. FedEx sucks, whatever. I was angry about it. I moved on. I went to Target and got it instead. Or no, I think I got it on Amazon for like a discount. It just wasn't like the special edition one. So yesterday I'm like, "Oh, I'll just go online for a bit." The water wasn't working and I needed to take a shower. So I was like, "I'll go on my computer and check on social media and stuff." So I go on to Facebook. I don't use Facebook ever, and I never ever use Facebook Messenger. I don't check it. I don't want people to think I use Messenger and that they can message me on there. Like I just don't do it. Um, but I noticed I have a message request and I think it's gonna be like a dick pic or something, right? I'm like, "Oh god, here I go." Click in, and this guy messages me and he's like,
Opened it anyway.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
I
what
was
are we
curious.
working with?
I open it and it's this guy from a few complexes down the street, and they're like, "Hey, I got your package. If you want it, I live at this complex. Like, what can I do for you, basically?" And I never saw that from July because, again, I don't use the internet like that. Um, but
Okay, but let me just point out what a terrible response to getting someone else's package. Like, there are so many options that could have remedied that. Like, you could have just put it back in the mailbox and wrote wrong address on it, and they would have shipped it to or to you. You could have looked at the address and go, "Oh, I know where this is. I have half a brain cell in Google Maps. I can just drive it over real quick and drop it off." Or you could have gone to the post office. Like there are so many things that could have happened. But messaging someone on Facebook to say, "Hey, I have your package, come get it," is like a terrible move, first of all. And it gives off some real like creeper vibes, if I'm being honest. Like, why would you want someone you've never met coming to your apartment or house to pick up their
well,
package?
I
You
just
know what I
checked too,
mean?
and he messaged me back and he goes, "I still have it, but I'm not gonna go meet some random guy to get my
Yeah,
package."
that's what I'm saying. It's very creepy. You should just send back a message and go, "We'll give it to the post office then, or give it to the mailman. They'll ship it. Like they will take it."
Yeah, I don't know. I
Like
might just let it
that's
go.
it's a very creepy thing to do to be like, "Hey, I have your package. Why don't you come over and get it?" No.
But now I'm like double upset because I'm like, it's one thing to deliver it to like the wrong apartment in a complex, but to deliver it to a completely different fucking address, like, what the hell,
Yeah,
dude?
it's not even the same complex, but yeah, I don't know. Which sucks for FedEx, but I'm still caught up on that. The way that guy handled it is very creepy.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'll do with that. Like,
No.
he can probably sell it online for money.
Did they give you a refund?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay
And
then.
then, like
I
I
was
said, I
like
ended up getting it on Amazon for, like, an extra $10 off because it was, like, an Amazon Prime member deal or whatever. It just wasn't the
Oh,
lilac
gotcha.
edition. That was the only thing that
Oh,
threw me off that
no.
one. But it's still a
Why?
pretty
What the
purple
heck is
color.
lilac? What does that mean? It's just purple?
It's like a lighter, pretty purple color
Okay.
with, like it had, like, flower impressions on it or whatever. Uh,
Ooh, yeah.
but, it's the one I have is still cute. She still plays well. I like it.
I,
I think
what?
sorry, there might be, like, a bug or something underneath her, like, she's, like, laying on my desk, and all of a sudden, she just starts, like, acting all weird. I don't know if there's, like, a bug in her blanket, but she just started, like, attacking the blanket on the desk, so I was like, "What are you doing?"
Okay. Oh man, okay, so the other day I was asleep.
As one is.
Yeah, just for that day though. No, I was sleeping. I woke up at like 1:10, 1:15 in the morning, right? And I was like, man, I'm thirsty. So I grabbed some water, sat up, drank some water, and then I was like sniffing around, like I'm like, oh, what smells like something's burning, like something's on fire.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, I really don't want to like evacuate this hotel at 1 in the morning because it's on fire. And I was like, now I gotta get up and check because it's not my room, but I don't want the adjacent room to have smoke coming out of it. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right. So I go over to the window and I open up the curtains and I'm just looking out and I'm like, I don't see any unusual flickering lights. I don't see any smoke anywhere. I'm like, hey, I'll go check anyway. So I close the curtain. I open the door. I walk out and it was like there was this awkward moment because I walked out to look around to see if I could like see where the smell was coming from. And the owner of the hotel was out there in flip-flops and like a tank top and some like baggy sweatpants, and he was in the middle, standing in the middle of the parking lot like a fucking sentry, just like rotating around looking in different directions. And I was like, well, as long as he's not freaking out, I guess nothing's on fire. And so I went back and I just kind of waved to him and he waved at me. And I was like, well, better go back inside now. That was creepy. And I
He's
went
like,
back
I'm trying to
inside
figure out
and
what's
closed the
burning out here
door.
too.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And, but, as long as he wasn't worried about the fire, I wasn't. So I was like, all right, well, good enough.
You're like, if you're good, I'm good.
Yeah, but it was very weird that he was just standing out there like he was like a sentry. I was like, all right, man, what's going on here?
When we started Mindless Prattle, we were immediately overwhelmed with all of the different tasks that come with starting a podcast. The audio, video, website hosting, editing services. It's enough to make anybody dizzy. If you want to start your own podcast, that might be one of the biggest things holding you back. Editing and production can be a huge learning curve and was what made me the most nervous when we started this podcast. Don't worry, you don't need to become an expert audio engineer to run a great sounding show. If you head on over to mindlessprattle.com/alitu, that's ALITU, you'll find a great little web app that was designed to make processing, editing, and publishing super easy. Alitu lets you create a podcast without knowing anything about audio production. It'll do conversion, leveling, noise reduction, and everything else at a press of a button. Finally, you can either download the finished episode or have it published directly from the app. So don't let editing and production get in the way of sharing your message with the world. Get started with Alitu on the monthly plan at $38 or the annual plan at $380 that will give you 2 free bonus months. You also get a 7-day free trial with either plan. So head to the link and give it a shot. Head on over to mindlessprattle.com/alitu to create the podcast of your dreams. That's mindlessprattle.com/ALITU. And then,
And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening.
no,
You just stopped
come
talking
on.
for
I
a
was about to
minute.
say something and then. Oh, how are you finding Starfield? I know that came out and you've been playing it.
I find it through the game menu on my Xbox. You just go in there and it says Starfield. How do you
Okay.
find it?
Are you liking it?
Oh,
Tell us
like
about
how do
it.
I like it? Oh, yeah, I like Starfield. It's I mean it's made by Bethesda and it is definitely just Fallout but in space. So like there's new mechanics and there's a lot of stuff to go to explore and do, which is a lot of fun, especially if you are been wanting like a new Fallout that isn't 76 and sucks. Uh but the quests aren't bad so far. I haven't made it too far into the game. There seems to be a lot of perks that'll be a lot of useful. They have I don't know how far you got in to the game. Their skills, I think, is what they're calling them now. But the skills menu, it's interesting because you can unlock a skill, and each skill has like 3 or 4 like levels to it. Like you can, level up the skill itself of like, oh, increase carrying weight like 10, 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is. But to get from the 10 to the 20, you have to complete challenges before you can level up that skill. So like the medical skill, it's like, oh, you heal for 10% more. So have to heal like 30 times before you're able to unlock the next skill.
What?
I thought that was interesting. Like
No,
the
my experience has not been, like, amazing with it, so, like, I figured yours would be better.
No, it's a decent system. It provides, a little challenge here and there. Like the carrying capacity one, it's like sprint 1,000 meters uh while encumbered, and then once you hit that, it you complete the challenge and you can unlock the next tier of like being able to carry more weight.
Yeah. I
And
I've only gotten, like, 1 skill so far, so I don't know too much about it.
yeah, yeah. Which starting class did you go with?
Chef.
The chef one.
Mhm.
I was looking at that one or one of the piloting ones I thought would be pretty helpful. But I went with what was it? What did I go with? The one with like sneak or like stealth and melee weapons, which just as a disclaimer, not a great choice because stealth in Starfield is incredibly hard to pull off. Like it is
Really?
ridiculous how easily you are detected. Yeah, like people will be having a conversation in one room over, and I crouch down and it says hidden, and I start walking, and it's like it'll start flashing red, and it's like detected, and I'm like, how? I can't even see them, but they can hear my footsteps or something. Like you have to walk super slow and like stay absolutely out of sight. I'm like, it's very weird to be like playing on normal difficulty, but the stealth mechanic is so like jacked up that I feel like I'd be on like a realistic mode or something. It's very off-putting to me. So I still haven't done like the basic challenge for it is like get 10 stealth attacks, and I still haven't done it. I'm at like 2 because it's so hard to sneak up on people. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me in this. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, I for me, like I said, I'm playing on through Xbox Games Pass on my computer, and I think I don't know if it's just my graphics card is just, not for these newer games, but it's just so buggy and the audio lags really badly. I checked and made sure I'm running
you
it on my GPU and all that sort of stuff, so it shouldn't be taxing my CPU, and it just does not work well on my
Have
computer.
you tried playing it while you don't have anything else going? Because I know you said you were streaming it the other
That
day.
is true. I was streaming. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'd say try it without it because your computer meets the minimum specs. So if it's trying to divide using your memory or your video to play the game and stream the game, it's probably why.
And it like automatically set me on all the medium graphics, so I figured it wouldn't be that bad, but
Yeah, it's probably just because you were trying to stream it at the same time. I don't know. I'd say give it another go without the streaming and see how it goes.
yeah, I will. And then it's funny you mentioned the sneaking thing because Baldur's Gate is like the exact same way. Like you can lockpick something or steal something from 3 rooms over with nobody there, and the moment you stop crouching, someone will run over like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you now because you stole that."
Really? I've had the opposite experience, but I'm also playing as a rogue, so like I I
Yeah,
have
you
really
got an
good
advantage
stealth
on that.
and checks and everything. Every time I see somebody like I need to sneak around, I leave everyone else behind, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do this part solo. It's fine.
Yeah, I really messed up my game. I think I'll definitely need to
Yeah, you
play
were
and through
saying you
again.
killed off a bunch of people.
Yeah, well,
Was
there's
that
like
your
a
main game?
in my main game, yeah, I didn't really follow the quest lines. I was just exploring and I accidentally did some like advanced stuff too early. And then I didn't end up exploring this other area because I didn't know I was supposed to. Um, Silly me. But so basically there's a new follower you can get in Act Two. And during the big battle of Act Two, she like died because the NPCs are stupid and even like since you're not controlling them, they just do random shit. And the shit she did got her killed in a cloud of gas. So lost that follower.
Yeah,
Halson won't follow me because I didn't lift the shadow curse because I didn't know that I was supposed to go and do that yet.
the shadow curse. Oh, in the
Yeah,
yeah, I know what
you'll
you're talking about,
get
on the way to the towers and everything.
yeah, you'll figure all it out. But like that's Halson's like thing to get him to be your companion. And so I went to the place where it says to get rid of it, but there's nobody there. They've all just left. So In
Oh, like it
short,
was
I
sequenced
fucked
and you
up.
went to the wrong place.
Yeah.
It's because you had like 1,000 quests open and you were like, let's do this one. And you progressed the story without doing all of the
But I
quests.
did all the ones in Act 1, like, I finished all the ones in Act 1 before I moved on, so it was just
You finished every quest in Act 1?
Mhm,
I don't believe that.
I did.
You explored literally everything?
Yeah,
Mm,
except for
I
there's,
doubt it.
like, you can go back to Act 1 for a little bit after Act 2, and then the point I'm in at now is where you can no longer go. So you can go back for quite a lot while. Did you see the drama about the Ed Sheeran show?
No, he has a show? What does that mean? What?
So yeah, he had a concert like at Las Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium, canceled it
Okay.
an hour before he was supposed to start, and nobody knows exactly why, but people had been waiting in line for so long, like, they had to call ambulances to come and help people because so many people were passing out from dehydration and heat exhaustion. Like, it was a huge clusterfuck, and
To
then he
get
just
into
canceled
the
his
show?
show. Yeah, because, the
Wow.
stadium, like, outside, like, the
Yeah,
line to
but
get in is you're just standing
Th
outside in the sun.
that's okay, that's on those people standing in line because literally I don't know if you've been to Allegiant Stadium, any event that they have, they shut down all of the nearby roads and they put up water stations, like, everywhere along that
Yeah, no,
road
no,
and
they had
everywhere
the
in the
water
parking
stations,
lot.
there were so many people there, the water stations were empty and ran out of cups and everything. Like
Oh, see, that's a different problem, but I
like, it
was
was
like,
just
"There's
poorly
no
managed.
way,"
'Cause
like
I'm sure people don't go outside with saying, "I wanna dehydrate and die today," but because they were forced to
Yeah, but
wait for
it's
so
just
long
pretty
and then
close,
he
yeah.
just ended up canceling it anyways, like, people weren't prepared to be waiting in line for 5 fucking hours, like, the show was supposed to be starting, and they were supposed to be able to go inside, but some people say that based on Twitter reports, like, nothing official, because Allegiant has not released any communication or anything, all that happened was Ed Sheeran posted to, like, fucking Instagram about it, but they said they think the elaborate stage setup they had was not finished, and it presented, like, a huge safety hazard, so he wouldn't have been able to get to the concert, but a lot of people got sick, just waiting for them to start.
Yeah, like, were there people already inside, or were they still trying to set up
Yeah, I think they were
the
making
stage
everybody
and
wait
everything?
outside while they were trying to finish setting up the show.
What? Oh my gosh.
An hour before it's supposed
When
to
when
start,
was that?
like,
When was that
yesterday, I
at?
think.
Yesterday?
Yeah, it was 18 hours ago.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because they it's not like this the Taylor Swift concerts where they set it up for like, a whole 3 days and they have time to prep. No, that stadium is, it's used for the football games and it's football season again, so
Well, I
can't
think
really keep the stuff set up in there.
I would say Taylor Swift, though, she is a professional in every sense of the word. Like, she prepares her shows years in advance. Like, she works on things very far in advance, like, plans the whole thing herself, like, what she wants to happen on stage. And then they practice and practice and practice. And she's got, like, tons of safety professionals. Like,
Yeah.
I
He's
don't
a
think she could
very good
ever.
he's a very big professional, even in the, professional environment killer department.
Yeah, well, I don't think she'd even cancel a show because I think I told you I saw a report that said if she canceled even one show, it would depress the economy.
That's pretty much any concert or show that has those thousands of people going to it, like
Well, I mean, did you see how much revenue her show has made for the United States?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, any show or concert, any event, like, if all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, you know what? The next Raiders game is canceled," of course, there's gonna be a bunch of downturn for the economy. Thousands of people show up
Oh,
each,
oh,
week to go to those
yeah,
games, like
look, as of August, the show had made $2.2 billion, making it the highest grossing tour of all times.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, like, it's not just her that would cause that. Any major, event that gets canceled ahead of time where people were planning to show up and now have to ask for refunds would obviously take money out of the economy that they would have otherwise spent there.
Yeah, I just think because she has so many fans, the effect is, like, a lot more pronounced, like, they're selling out entire hotels, like, I saw it one of the concerts in England sold out every single hotel in a whole city, like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What I mean, it depends on the size of the venue too, right? Like I said, even if like even the what the football game in Vegas, like even if you sold out all the seats, just because there's more hotels there and they charge more for it, they're gonna make a lot of money on it. And if they cancel ahead of time, like hey, next Sunday there's no football game, be like, okay, well there goes thousands of people from staying in Vegas next weekend.
Well, yeah, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we'll reschedule the concert to next weekend," and it's like, people can't just
Yeah,
move the
that's not how
date.
that works.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
people get time off, they've gotten hotels, like, they're spending lots of money, like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, like especially if you don't cancel it ahead of time. Like if you said, "Hey, oh, by the way, it's canceled in an hour." Oh man, like people have already traveled, people have already checked into hotels. Like there's a ton of money that they can't get back, in time. That's a terrible thing. Like especially if you're for an event that big too, or for any event of that scale, to just be like, yeah, we're gonna cancel it in an hour, and be like, man, at least like try. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Do
like,
the first half of the show and then don't use the shaky part of the stage. I don't know. Like what?
yeah, just get up there and sing, I don't know. I think a lot of people would be fine with that, like, obviously, it's cool to see a concert that has, like, a lot of pyrotechnics and cool things happening, but, you know, people just wanna hear your music. I'm sure if he had gone up on whatever part of the stage was fine, and be like, "We're just gonna sit here and play some music and have a good time. Instead of canceling the show, we're just not gonna do all the crazy extra stuff. I'll just stand up here and sing my music and hope you guys have a good time." I think that would be more than acceptable.
Speaking of crazy shows and events, have you been following what's happening or what happened at Burning Man last week?
Oh, yeah, I have. Mhm.
So, yeah. So in case you don't know, Burning Man's a giant like festival out in the Nevada desert. They have it once a year, and it all culminates with a giant like man made of wicker, and they burn it, and it's all sorts of fun. Well, this year, first of all, there was like a climate protest at the beginning, and some like tribal police like almost ran over some protesters. So that was just a fun start to Burning Man. But there was some rain, which is not a big deal if you're pretty much anywhere except for a desert, which they just happen to be in. So the rain caused so much flooding that nobody could leave. It rushed
Well
out all of the roads. It backflowed like so much like mud into the basin that they hold the festival in, that no one could leave for like a week. It
well,
was so
there's
bad.
also what I saw was because the mud out there, it's not like regular mud. It's
No, no, it's
it's
like
dry,
clay.
packed earth that doesn't get
Yeah.
water, so when it gets wet, what it does is just, like, stick and layer onto things, so if you try
Yeah,
to walk
it
through
turns
it
into clay.
yeah, it's very alkaline too, so if you walk over it barefoot, it's, like, giving people acidic burns and things like that, like,
Yep.
cars could
I
only
don't know
move,
if
like, 10
you
feet an hour or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but, so there was an outbreak at Burning Man of, trench illness and trench foot,
Oh
a
god.
disease that has not been prevalent since World War One broke out because people were not able to keep their feet dry. Like, yeah. They said that, a lot of it had to deal with the toilets, and like all the porta johns that were out there, were only designed to be out there for the week, and then they get serviced, throughout the week, like once a day or something. But all the trucks that were servicing them are full, and so all the porta potties just kept getting more full. So there was a literal like pee and poop like running down like rivers in like through the festival, and people just had to walk around it or through it to get back to like their tents or whatever. So all those like germs and everything, all the bacteria combined with you not being able to dry your feet and it just being stuck in that mud, in that clay, yeah, so a bunch of people got sick, trench illness and trench foot, and just back to the good old days of World War One.
Yeah, I'm all for a festival, but, like, if I have to go to the middle of fucking nowhere where I can't reasonably have resources, I don't think I'd wanna do it.
Yeah, so the CDC. put out that they should ration resources while they work on a plan to get people out. And the plan was basically, we're going to wait till it dries out enough to drive. Like,
Yeah, there's really nothing people could do. Like, it's not like you can
no,
land a
it's,
helicopter out there or anything because then the helicopter's fucking stuck.
yeah. So I don't know what exactly, I don't know. But I saw a thing that was like, I don't feel bad for the people at Burning Man. Uh, the only people that go to Burning Man is not the people that are out there to just watch somebody like burn a big wicker man. It's the people that are out there to do drugs, and they're fucking rich enough to just stay out there for a whole week at a time. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
you deserve it. You deserve to get stuck out there. Like, you'll be all right.
Yeah, and I saw a thing that's from a restaurant that's like near the area. They said that Burning Man is their worst time of year, that customers forget how to act because these people have been, doing drugs and like hippie free loving each other all week. And then they come into restaurants
Each
like
other.
barefoot with no shirt on and try to like hug the waitresses and shit. And it's just like they forget how to act like people.
Yeah, that's what this was someone said. And they're like, yeah, it's not a festival about anything but going out in the desert with a bunch of rich people and just doing drugs for a week and then watching a giant man burn.
You could
Like,
also just do drugs at home without getting stuck in a bunch of
good, good indeed.
That's what strikes your fancy. Why go do it under the hot desert sun?
Because then it's magical because you're all in a big circle and part of something bigger, man.
I did like the rave I went to, but it was in downtown Las Vegas and they had food and beverage stations.
Inside, and you could just walk out.
Yeah, their bathrooms were really nice too. They were like set up in containers. So they made like a full service bathroom and it was clean and nice.
In like shipping containers.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, they had like the whole area aligned with shipping containers and then the ones on the end were the bathrooms and then inside the area was the festival.
Oh, gotcha. Well, yep, that makes sense.
And then I'm trying to think if I have any other stories. I'm getting really hungry.
Yeah, I'm about out of stories too, actually. Nothing really crazy is going on this week. Let's look ahead and see what's coming up. So we're gonna have to, let's see, we'll have to record again pretty soon because we won't be able to next week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be gone like the whole week.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's so close now. I've just been rereading the Throne of Glass series because the new Sarah J. Maas book comes out in January.
I keep seeing my coworker reading it. She has the, no, wait, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of the roses and thorns thingy.
The Court of Thorns
Is
and
that the
Roses?
same? Is that the same?
It's the same author,
Is that
different
different?
series.
Oh, okay. My coworker's been reading through those books, and I was telling her I read the first one. We talked about it for a bit, and I was like, I don't know anything about the rest of them though. And she's like, oh, they get better, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's why like I
Take
kind
your
of want
word.
you to read the rest because the one in Akatar, the first one's just like okay, and then the rest of the series is really, really good. Like the first one's definitely like an intro starter into the story, like very slow build. Um, Throne of Glass, however, is good from book one. I think you'd enjoy that one a lot more. I like the main character of that one a lot more. She's an assassin. She's got like a big personality. She's confident. She's not like the main character in Akatar who's like
Are
figuring shit out for the first time.
are all of her books like have female leads? Is that like her theme?
All of her books have like start with a female lead and then she ends up expanding to like other characters' points of views a
Oh,
lot.
gotcha.
So like Throne of Glass, like there's like so many main characters by the third or fourth book because it's all building to a really the final book in the series is so fucking good. None of my club friends have read it yet, and it's just so good. It's one of my favorite series. I like it better than Akatar. It's not like a romance book either. Like I would say Akatar is like a fantasy romance because it focuses heavily on like the relationships. But Throne of Glass, it has romance in it, but it's more of a romantic fantasy where it's like more about the world and the problems they're facing. It's not focused on the
Gotcha.
relationships. So, and there's like
Yeah.
young adult, so there's no like sex scenes or anything like that. It's just like fade to black.
And they're like, and then they got in bed, and then the next morning,
But they'll say things like, the one joke that everybody talks about is in one of the books, it's like a lead asks Lorcan to show her everything, and so he did. And so it's a really big meme in the community. Everybody's like, "I wanna know what Lorcan showed a lead. What is everything?"
everything.
But it was her first series. She started writing it when she was a teenager, so I think, it was more like where her head was at the time. But I really love the
Yeah.
story. Like, it's just so good. It's just so good. Ugh, you should read it. It's on my Kindle.
I'm like 6 months behind on reading. I'm trying to read more books, but I've just been behind on it.
Oh, yeah, did you start Fourth Wing?
Um, no, I haven't. It's sitting over there. I can see it right now.
You gotta read it so you can hate Dane as much as I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
okay.
fucking annoying. Like, from page 1, like, I think he was supposed to be presented as, like, an option for this girl to like. No, he's just an annoying asshole. Hate him.
Okay.
All my friends hate Dane.
Sorry, didn't mean to push your buttons like that.
No, it's okay.
Uh,
I want you to
I
read it. Like I said, I read it all in one day. I liked it a lot. And it's got, like, the military aspect to it. Like, it's like a military dragon school. So, I think that's fun because I think a lot of fantasy, it's like magic and wizards and shit, but no, this is just about dragon riders.
gotcha.
Maybe influenced by How to Train Your Dragon.
All right. Well, I don't know. You got anything else you want to talk about this week?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I wish I could stop biting my fucking nails.
Right. Anyway, that's going to do it for us this week. I hope you had fun. I know we did. If you
For
did enjoy
something.
this episode, make sure to check us out on mindlessprattle.com for all our other episodes, all of our fun updates and things. Go to Twitter, go to YouTube. We're uploading all the all the starting episodes up to YouTube now. So if you just want to sit with YouTube on, go for it.
And you can also check out our shorts.
Yes, you can see all of our shorts on there, just little tidbits and clips. But that's going to do it for us this week. I think I already said that part, but we'll circle back around to it anyway.
Hey, we've gotten views on those.
And we'll and we will see you next time.